Welcome back to Deep Dive Wine Acoustics, Episode 4, Nebbiolo. It's Andy Tarnoff, the host of Deep Dive, and Courtney Taylor-Taylor, co-host of Deep Dive Wine Acoustics. Today we're drinking a wine I've never even heard of, Courtney. I mean, I know where Piedmont, Italy is. I know this is a wine from Italy, from that part of Italy, but I don't know what a Nebbiolo is. Is this something you like?
Oh, yeah. Nebbiolo is the grape, and Piedmont is obviously the region, also known as the Langa, La Langa,
yeah,
to the Italians. Nebbiolo is the grape of the wines Barolo and Barbaresco, which generally have been priced out of what we're doing here, what our goal is, our mission is with this, one of the many missions with this wine podcast. Yeah, but it's great, and we're going to find out if Nebbiolo, when it's just, the word Nebbiolo, the name, and not a particular village, can it still be great?
I paid $24 for this bottle at Ray's Wine and Spirits. I don't know how much it cost you in Portland, but this is right in the middle of our...
I think it cost me about $28.
Okay. Those West Coast prices that you got there.
Probably more like Portland prices.
Portland prices, yeah.
Yeah.
We also got some Wisconsin cheese. We got Sartori today to go along.
Yeah, Sartori is I think you can tell us about that, but this is an Asiago made in Wisconsin by this company. But tell me a little about the cheese, just for the hell of it.
I'll tell you what I know. Sartori is an excellent local brand, and we've worked with them on Milwaukee, which is where I'm the founder. They make really good, approachable cheese. So you were able to find that like a Whole Foods in Portland or something, or just like anywhere?
Yeah, just my grocery store down the street, Zupan's.
Okay. So
probably paid twice what you paid for it.
I already tore off the label, so I don't know what I paid for it. But,
me too. I made sure I didn't look.
It wasn't bad. We should talk to them at some point and see.
We have a great cheese here called Tillamook right. Cheese. At one point, it was served at the table of the Queen of England when my uncle and aunt had tea with the Queen. He's a bishop of the Church of England, or the Episcopal Church, which is C of E over here.
Okay, you never cease to amaze me with these.
That's no achievement of my own. I was just born
still,
like...
I mean, I don't think anyone in my family has had tea with the Queen, but
no.
Yet being the operative word.
Right. Who knows? Could be just you and she. Oh wait, no, she's gone. Dead. It would be you and is Chucky Old Beast, is his wife the Queen now?
She's like the queen consort or something. I don't follow that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that stuff.
I feel like I have enough, locally relevant things to care about than British nobility and royalty. But that's just me.
I have a lot more interest in the British royalty of, say, 1318.
They did a lot more stuff back then.
So it would seem. But it has been condensed a lot. Actually, you know who the most interesting would be? William the Conqueror, 1066. No one had such an influence on the English language as a French ruler coming in and making it, maison, right? House. That's just a house. But because it's a French word for house, mansion became mansion. It meant a really fancy house. But in France, it's not.
No, it's just a house. It's la maison. All right. We should probably, as we've now learned, or as I've now learned, we're 4 episodes into this, we tend to have more fun when we open the bottle earlier and then work our way through it. The last episode was a banger. That was
to happy, soulful people who drink wine. It's always fun.
Yeah. So again, for people who are watching this for the first time, we are talking wine, but we're also talking music, and we're talking about whatever else comes across our mind. British royalty.
And we're keeping the price within about 22 to 35 bucks. And wines that we can both find, which means you could probably get them anywhere in America. If you can get it both in Wisconsin, the same year, the same, make, model, number. This is Rati. This is this is a great label, and this is the maker. And Nebbiolo is just the name of the wine itself. And I'm sure they have a Barbaresco. They might even have a Barolo. But this is their kind of everyday, what they call an everyday drinker here in the business. Okay, so
have you had the Ratti before? Anything from these guys?
I don't know. I used to spend quite a bit of time in the Langa, as I have a couple friends there, and we would go stay with them. One of them has inherited a floor of the family house, which was built by one of the generals of Napoleon who conquered the Langa in particular, when he took Italy. Which is why, if anyone out there was wondering why an Italian region has a name like Piedmont, blatantly French, that's why. Napoleon is why. And so we would go stay in this house and just run around the Langa and try to get somebody to not drink so that they could drive for us and we could drink, which is a great reason to visit there but not live there, because if you live there, they'll make you drive.
Right. So Torino, that's in the Piedmont.
That's the big city
area, right? Okay, one of my longtime coworkers, his family is from there, and I have drank a fair amount of Turin wine, but I don't think this one. I wonder if this guy might be one of those soldiers on this.
Probably.
I can't read Italian, but he looks like he's something from 1795.
Does he look? Yeah, I don't really. Kind of has a French soldiery look more than a Italian soldiery look, but what do I know
really
about?
Know what they look like.
Yeah, what do I know? Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get in there.
Unfoil this thing.
Spoiler
alert. In the future episode, I want you to teach me how to use the Psalm key, because I just don't want to cork this thing and mangle it.
I know, it's such a worry.
For another time.
I found that the Italians tend to really jam their corks in there. Oh, geez, did I just break? Well, I just broke.
Did you cork it?
No, I broke my Psalm key that I've been.
Psalm key? Okay.
Let me take
a quick wine.
Let me go.
Wine bar.
Let me go deal with this. Okay, and forevermore, the piece of my Psalm key, of my doomed and cheaply made Psalm key, will live in this cork.
Don't throw that out. That could be a giveaway to the viewers.
Yeah, I'm sure people are going to care about that. Deep Dive
Podcast. Don't care if we tell. Autographed.
I'd be so excited to have that piece of garbage. Okay.
Don't throw it out.
Piece of compost.
Jesus, I left my wine glass upstairs. Sorry. I can't believe. Told you I was hurrying. Hold on. I'll be back in 1 minute.
You were still a half hour late, even though you were hurrying.
I do want to get the same wine glass that you have for actual.
Yeah,
complete.
these at a grocery store, they're made by Libby's, and they're nothing. They're like free. I bet it's $18 for 8 of them.
Okay, I would have thought you had some sort of medieval crystal.
I do,
but you don't use them.
No, not for this. I want us to have the same size and shape of glass.
Okay,
and we do. Pretty close.
Okay. Close enough, but I'll get
my
the
medieval goblets are just
for special occasions.
Really weird occasions probably is a more accurate description. It's a good sound.
Did you smell? You smell this one already?
Oh, that smells like the Langa to me. Smells like good times coming right up. Yeah, it's not nearly as powerful as a Barbaresco or a Barolo, but it is the smell of that grape from that place. Oh, hallelujah! There's no hint of the cheap wine smell. Doesn't reek of cheap wine. Doesn't even hint at it.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Solid wine. Happy days are here again.
I'm gonna become a wine snob. Because now we've had some good wine.
I know. I was pretty horrified to.
Delicious, man.
This is a great wine. I was pretty horrified to see you buying $10 wines in your. Did you buy any of that garbage? The photos you sent me.
I just had it as backup. I just took the other ones as
Did you
just emergency.
Have you
backup.
Learned nothing from our notorious last episode where we bailed in the middle of a bottle of Beaujolais Village?
This is terrible.
And so you bought even cheaper wines as backups?
Like emergency backups. Not for like
your headache. You had an actual hangover while you were drinking it.
I did. That's true.
Absurd.
That's true. My favorite one so far has been the BV, then the Vigna Cubillo.
Oh yeah. Those are great.
Then that Beaujolais was terrible. I don't know about this one yet. I can't tell.
It's nice right now. And this is a good, powerful, really powerfully flavored cheese. Because Nebbiolo, like a Spanish wine, is a powerful flavored wine. It's a grape with a lot of character. And they've done a good job of making this a really drinkable, right now kind of wine. This isn't a tannin bomb. It's not a fruit bomb. It's not too acidic. I would guess this doesn't really cellar that well. You don't lay it down for 20 years or anything, but...
This bottle's a 2021.
Cool.
And
4 years on it. 3 years.
You want to hear what some people think about it?
Let's see what they say.
Okay. A guy named Jeff Porter over at Wine Enthusiast.
Okay. Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. I don't know this guy.
The Jeffy. I don't know the Jeffy.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Jimmy Suckling.
Yeah, he's pretty consistent. I mean, he's got a clear idea of what he thinks is good and not.
Jeffy says, this elegant and gentle Lange.
You can say Langa.
Lange Nebbiolo opens with aromas of bright and tart red berries, drying roses, and crushed chalk.
Well, I don't get the crushed chalk. I think I don't even get the roses. I think a red berry is fairly accurate, but not in a strawberry way. It seems more...
It is definitely not sweet at all.
No, it's a good dry... a dry guy.
He says, Jeffy says that sour cherries dominate the palate with hints of raspberry in the background, all framed by dry herbs, fine tannins, and persistent minerality.
Okay. I'm not getting minerality, and it's certainly, if I was, I wouldn't call it persistent. But yeah, it's slightly sour cherry is pretty accurate.
That's the only thing I can pick out of that list.
Fine tannins are very important for a readily drinkable wine. Just juice it and probably get it into oak for a very short time, maybe used oak, so it doesn't imprint the wine too harshly. And yeah, I mean, this is a really well handled. We're going to make a great wine that you don't have to go dig out of your cellar after 15 years and wonder if this is the right occasion and all that crap. Which, let me tell you, having a pretty deep cellar it really is maybe perhaps it's an OCD, ADHD, whatever uh, curse, but man, it just seems like it should be so easy to walk into your cellar and go, tonight we're doing this one and this one and this one. But
Yeah.
it's not like that. They're all my children.
Sorry. You love them all equally.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Uh,
And they can't choose.
the bottle
They can't
itself,
choose. You have to choose for them.
right, just like children. The bottle itself doesn't offer a lot of information. It just says that Renato Ratti, he founded this in 1965.
Cool.
I don't know. It's just some words. Doesn't really.
Words,
Apparently,
words.
it's an innovative style of winemaking, but they don't really expound on what that means.
Oh,
Um,
how innovative. What is innovative of? And they don't tell you what's
I don't
innovative.
know.
I don't taste
Nope.
anything innovative about it at all. It just seems like really, really good wine.
I think I'm getting spoiled though, because, well, not by the Beaujolais, but by the other ones.
Yeah, we're definitely just having good wines here.
It's perfectly good. I feel like it's good.
I feel like we were actually kind of lucky to have a wine we didn't like, frankly.
I actually, I think that's a little bit more fun.
It's
we
certainly
can just-
funnier.
Yeah. Jeffy Porter gave this one an 89.
Oh, no. That's a 90. It's a 90 for sure. That's why I like Suckling. He's really good at just going 90 is when there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't have to be stellar. It doesn't have to be opulent, stupendous. It doesn't have to be, it just has to be perfectly good wine. And that's a 90. This is a 90 for sure.
Let's see if Jimmy Suckling has something to say about this.
Yeah, has he ever had Ronaldo Ratty?
Oh, he has. He
Cool.
has. And it's premium content. What? Do I have to pay? Okay, I'm gonna have to pay for this.
No.
Anyway, so it probably shouldn't be a secret to anyone who watches podcasts or listens to podcasts that these are not typically done live. And since we're still starting out, we're trying to get a couple in the can. So by the time you see
I will
this,
be on tour in
maybe
Europe.
mid-fall.
I might
You will
be in the
on
Langa.
tour. So this is right before. I hope you are. You playing in Italy at all?
No, but the Langa is right
Or you're
next
just
to
gonna-
France.
Yeah, you may be in Europe, you may be back from Europe, but because this is a podcast, it's not just about wine, it's also about music.
Yes.
And because you're embarking on, I feel like this is a significant tour for the Dandy Warhols because it coincides with your 30th anniversary of the band.
And we've got our favorite band to tour with. We're alternating who goes on first and second with the Black Angels, who are just one of the best live bands in the world, and they're fun.
Yeah, they're right in your wheelhouse. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just fun people, and there's a good variety of characters in that band. So whatever mood you're in, there's someone to hang with.
I hope you get. I'm going to remind you, but I want you to get some content while you're out there. In between time changes and resting.
I've already got
partying.
my buddy Andy de Brouwer, who is a winemaker. He's from Brussels, and he's booked us a table with our mutual buddy, my best Belgian friend, who is the now retired police commissioner of Brussels. And we're going to go do mussels in Brussels and drink his white wines that he makes in Portugal, high elevation, but very minerally still. And he is going for a Merceau style which is one of the top 2 or 3 white wines of Burgundy. And they're pretty expensive. And it's great because they're, $80 or $100 a bottle, and he sells his for about 20 to 30 a bottle. And literally
bring some of those back.
The first time I ever tasted them, he just poured a carafe for the table, and I smelled it, I drank it, and I said, "Oh, Merceau, yes, let's just keep drinking Merceau today." And we did for a couple hours, and then he said, "Actually, I made this, and I do it at a high elevation hillside in Portugal." So the man is brilliant. He also had, for decades, one of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at. But he sold that, kept the ancient basement wine bar that he also ran. So we will go hit the wine bar and taste all of his wines after we muscles in Brussels it up.
All right. Videos or it didn't happen. That's all. It's my one
Totally.
request.
And then I've got a wine bar in Paris. We have a day off there, so that might be a blurry day.
I trust you. I believe you can do this.
I can.
Is the rest of the band going to hang out and do this with you?
Oh yeah, anyone that wants to come is welcome to. And it'll be great to have the Black Angels. I'm hoping Christian Bland will come because I know he's a pretty irresponsible guy. Yeah.
Cool.
And lots of fun to hang out with. He gets very excited. Excitable dude. Really fun.
Great. All right, so I want to ask you a couple to thread in the music side of this thing. Dandy Warhols do not tour all the time, though you guys do tour pretty frequently, I think.
We try to go somewhere
but you're not going big, huge
We try to
tours.
go somewhere for 5 days to a week, or maybe 2 weeks, every 4 months. If we didn't, we're afraid our lives would suck. And if we did it any more often, we're afraid our lives would suck. So that seems to be a good zone. This tour, we're going 3 weeks, but the last week, we're not on a tour bus crammed in there together. We're in hotels in London. We've got TV and radio and things to do, so we're just kind of camped in London for the last week of the tour. So I think it should be, real vacation vibe that last week rather than anger, frustration, a dwindling amount of personal space. And
right, which I'm sure can happen.
Geez. Yeah, and
those are, I've been on your bus. They're not huge. They're not tiny, but they're not huge. And so it's like camping.
Yeah. And
with a bunch of people.
The fun thing about camping or any of those experiences like that is not having to leave. Like you wake up and your friends are still there. It's like the best party ever. Now add to that, you and your friends get to rock, 3-4 nights in a row. And then you're kind of too tired to really have a rager afterwards, but you want to hang out, so you do. And then when it's time to leave, you all leave together. And you're on a tour bus. So you've got music, you've got snacks, you've got nice wine. You might have doobies. And it really is what you dreamt of when you were, 13 years old or 14 or whenever you started.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like summer camp or maybe college, except you're getting paid to do it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a sweet. It's good work.
Nice work if you can get it. And the homework is generally, it ain't algebra 2. It's something we've been doing for a long time, so it's very easy for us.
Right. So that's what I was specifically going to ask you. You hear about bands that go out on tour and they do a ton of rehearsal and tune-up shows and stuff, but you've told me before, and I just want you to expand on this a little bit. Like, you guys just know this stuff, right? You're not sitting and Well, first of all, Fathead's in Australia, but you guys aren't sitting in the studio like hashing out versions of songs that you've been playing for somewhere between
No, we're
0
not
and
going to
30 years,
tour. I
right?
mean, we're not going to practice. We're just going to show up and, you know, the first show was in Paris, so we booked Geneva 2 days before that, and that'll be our live practice.
Tune up. Yeah.
Which is nice. That's its own kind of experience for fans. People, the Swiss who love us and have seen us a lot of times will be glad that it's a different kind of gig than if we're in the middle of tour and we're a well-oiled machine. We might
Right.
end up
I think
stopping songs in the middle because somebody forgot where we were. Those kinds of things happen. We just allow it to happen because we are a band that doesn't really feel like we've ever grown, and we prefer to.
What do you mean?
Well, like be super professional or anything.
So live Sonic Disruption I think that was recorded in Zurich, if I'm not mistaken. So the Swiss must know something about you guys.
Yeah. Best live record cover ever.
But you don't practice. Great album too. It sounds. I mean, I said this to Zia a while ago. I'm like, it sounds like a Dandy Warhol show. She's like, well, obviously. I'm like, no. I mean, of course, obviously it does.
Well, we don't send our live stuff to other people to mix. We mix it, to make it feel like and sound like what it is. But I think you probably have to. You guys put on some nice headphones and just get stoned to the bejesus to really be there through a live recording.
It's the closest I can come to showing up and being there. Although it sounds like Switzerland would be a fun
and expensive side trip.
We're doing Portland.
Switzerland is effing expensive, like Tokyo expensive. Hey, is this wine changing at all for you?
I'm not sure.
Not
is it
at
for you?
all. Nope, exactly the same as it was.
It does taste really good with the cheese, but
yeah,
I don't know if I have any strong opinions about this one.
Nope, that is what I used to say when I first started getting into wine was, I just want it to be wine. I don't need it to be fancy. I don't need it to be anything but just wine. I don't want anything insulting my palate or bumming the wine trip out. And so I would say this is it. This is the base level of good Northwestern Italy. And this will probably, don't forget that it's near, I think it's near the Dolomites, right? The mountain range. You can see the Italian Alps from my friend Gallo's estate, Fat Jesus, as we used to call him. And it's also near the ocean. So the food can be anything from, lamb ragu to, seafood, squid, octopus,
Yeah. So what? Yeah. Right. So what would you eat with this?
I would eat anything with it.
Would you pair with this kind of wine?
It seems like it could go with mussels. I would be fine with this with oysters. Stay with the same wine. Move on to pork chops. Yeah.
So anything,
now, did
basically.
I think I told you about tonado, the schmear, the tuna schmear that they do there.
You did, yeah. We talked about that in the third episode.
Yeah, and they're
starting to run together. I don't know why. I can't possibly put my finger on it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, they smear that on pork, and it's absolutely delicious.
Surf
and this would be perfect with that.
Yeah, one thing. That's crazy.
I think this should be your minimum level wine. I don't think you should ever get a lesser wine than this. Right. When you say, I got to get a backup, and then you go buy a $10 bottle of
buy the $10 ones.
Oh, I did. The pictures were a little too low res for me to read what you were buying, but I did see the big splashy sign actually bragging about selling $10.49 bottles of wine. Why don't they put that in tiny numbers? They might sell more.
Okay. I actually know the answer to this. That's what people want.
They want a headache.
If you
when they drink wine.
Well, they want a price point. Put it
why
that way.
don't they skip the wine and just have someone hit them in the head with a rubber mallet?
I will. Let's get them on the show.
Okay, next episode.
I think.
Why would you? Why would you?
Why would you rather get hit on the head with a rubber mallet or drink a $10 bottle of wine? I'd probably take the wine, but I'm still feeling the effects from a couple days ago when we filmed that other episode.
Oh, anyway, and you continued on to the fake sangria in a bottle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I ran out of wine, so I just grabbed whatever I had, and I don't want that.
Yeah, so you bought $10 wine.
So, my bad.
Back up your. No, just you should have bought half a case of this.
Give it away at a holiday
and make
party.
That your backup.
Well, I bought some more of the BV. That stuff's great.
Yep.
So you truly do not rehearse, you do not practice, you just go out there and play.
It's totally random. This one's just so long that we just decided let's just drop in. And we've just been on tour. This is a year we released a record, so the tour is kind of piled up a little quicker. I mean, if we had actually done South America, we would have been on tour almost every other month, and that's how bands break up.
That's a lot.
I mean, obviously, look at Jane's Addiction; they're done, right? They just had a big tantrum on stage.
Yeah, I just heard about that.
And before they left on this tour, Dave Navarro and I were texting, and I said, you guys have been on for a long time. That's very dangerous. We will not do that. We haven't done that for years, and but we're a band who drinks, and that makes it very hard. And he said, yeah, I think his last text before they left on tour to me was, yeah, going out with an alcoholic or going out with alcoholics is way harder than going out with junkies. Right? Yeah, I mean, junkies just sort of go into their bunk, shoot up, and don't come out until the next gig. Alcoholics take over the front lounge. They're loud, and they're right, and you're wrong, and the music's stupid, and it's loud, and they do daring things like Madonna's first record, super loud. Oh my God, this is way more fun than I remember it. And it's like booze is really rough to be around if you're not drunk. There's nothing more aggravating to a sober person than a drunk one. Certainly a junkie is not that.
That's true.
A stoner is not that bad. Alcohol is...
they're mellow.
It's birds of an alcoholic feather have to stick together, and they got to get the fudge away from people who aren't drunk. And they have to... it's so hard to be respectful, of anything, of anybody else, when you're having a good time and you're drunk.
I've seen Perry Farrell perform by himself.
Who did he punch
then? With?
I'm just kidding. That's not even funny. I don't know why. I don't even know why I said that.
He was.
Does he plays guitar?
I mean, you assume he was going to punch someone.
Clearly needs to. I mean, Dave Navarro is the most chilled out guy. Have you ever seen an interview with him?
No, but I'm
he
trying
is
to think
so smart.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was a guitar player when I saw the Red Hot Chili.
Well,
maybe
Dave is a very, very smart and relaxed guy. He's very intelligent. He's very sweet and kind and soulful. He also doesn't drink, and I don't know. Was Perry just angry because Dave's maybe really boring? I don't know. I don't find him particularly boring, but I'm a person.
Maybe him in a different way.
I'm not in a band with him. Come on, have some fun. You're making me feel guilty.
Right.
You're making me feel guilty. I feel guilty for having fun, and it's your fault.
But you have a whole bunch of albums and a whole bunch of songs. Are your set lists like decided before you even go on tour,
Oh
so
no,
everyone knows what to bone up
no,
on,
no, no.
or do you each night you're like,
Oh
let's do this
well,
one?
yeah. There's some of that. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that. I mean, there's just a lot of things we can because we're out with the Black Angels and we're going for this. It's a show. It is a thing. We've got Miranda Lee Richards opening for us, and she's playing a very short
Yep.
set, just kind of entry music by herself, chat with the audience, that kind of thing. And because we had a really great artist opening last time we tried this with the Black Angels, but it was full on like solo performer with like electronic accompaniment. It was like a whole band, and the three band bill is
Too
just
too much?
is just you know concussive. So we stripped it, pared it down. Miranda was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll do it. I'd love to," And we're both friends with Miranda and have been for decades. We're all part of the same family that
Hmm.
started in '94 when we met the Jonestown Massacre, and then it spread from there to Black
Yeah, it's a crazy
Rebel.
family tree.
Yeah,
Like
the
BRMC.
we took
Yeah,
we
yeah.
took them on their first tour ever, but they were basically put together as people from the Jonestown Massacre and friends in Los Angeles after Anton had kind of moved them from San Francisco, where they originally were from. Thus, the amazing psychedelic history. And God, we used to
Right.
play. We played
No, that
like the Purple Onion with the Jonestown Massacre in the first summer that we met them, and would go down there. We wouldn't even play Seattle. We would rather drive 12 hours to play San Francisco, which was more of our thing, than to go compete with Seattle during the heyday of grunge. You know.
of grunge. Yeah, yeah. All right, so I'm going to test you on this because I make you
Yes,
play a
what is the
guitar or
song for
sing in
this
every
episode?
episode. Well, it's more than that because you just told me and you proved it that you have all these songs in your head that you've written for the last 30 years. So I got a handful of songs. I'm just going to say them to you, and there's aren't like obscure
You'll say them one at a
Dandy
time,
songs,
and
so
I'll
you should
tell you
know these.
yes or
Scratch,
yeah,
grab
yeah,
your
yeah.
Kurt
My
Cobain clone
Kurt
guitar.
Cobain model.
All right, give me a couple seconds
Okay,
of Ride.
this was the first song we tried out. Peter and I tried out bass players, but in 1993, bass players were terrible. They overplayed. They had bad taste, and they had really bad tone. They didn't want to play warm, dubby bass lines. So I met Zia, and I had her meet me at this new coffee shop that there was one in Seattle, and they had just put one in Portland around the corner from my house called Starbucks. You might have heard of it. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it got really
I've heard of it.
popular.
Yeah.
And so I sat there and I had a newspaper and I waited and she came and I said, "Oh, hey, grab yourself a cup of coffee or whatever." And she said, "I don't drink coffee." And I went, "Oh, okay, cool. Get hot chocolate. And then I just continued to read the newspaper. My friend Kirk Peterson had worked with her and said she's just the coolest person. And he was right. She's super cool, really funny, really smart, an adaptable hang to any situation. She's great. But I just wanted to see what she would do. And she sat there just probably thinking this guy is definitely a freak. He's not even talking to me. He's just sitting there reading the newspaper. She did not go get hot chocolate. She did not go get coffee. She just sat there and went.
Just sat there.
And finally, after a couple of minutes, she just got up, put a quarter in the newspaper box, pulled out a newspaper, and she sat and read. So we sat there together reading the newspaper for about 15, 20 minutes. And I finished my coffee and I said, "You're not even going to get hot chocolate, huh?" She said, "No." "Well, I live around the corner. Let's go to my house and I'll show you this song. I'll show you a basic song." and a synthesizer, a vintage synthesizer that when I was maybe 13 or 14 years old, my friend Stuart Kyle had gotten for his birthday or something. But he preferred a guitar. He had gotten one of these guitars in that light yellow color, and I think he still plays it. But he didn't care about the monophonic.
So let me just set the stage here.
Yep.
Zia's like 19 years old. Some weirdo sitting there reading the newspaper at the brand new Starbucks, and then you invite her over to play some songs.
Nope. I said, "Do you play an instrument?" She said, "No."
Keyboards at this point.
And I said, "Great," because I didn't want anybody's bad habits. I didn't want any of those musical bad habits that abound in the late 80s and early 90s. So,
if I confirm this story with Zia, is she
don't
gonna
even
say this actually
tell
happened?
her a thing. Just ask her to relate the story, and she will, word for word, or at least action for action, tell you about. And I would love that, because her side of it would be.
I think the he said, she said could be kind of funny. So you took her back to play Ride for her? Is that what happened?
Okay, here are the keys. 2 black keys. The white one right below it is C. We're only talking about white notes right now. There's only A through G. So if I say E, where is it? And she goes, there. And I go, okay, what about G? There.
You're a natural.
A. There or there. And I go, great. There's only 4 counts to a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And so I gave her the layout, and I just went, and so here's it. It's E. E.
Yeah, the whole song is EGA, right?
4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You know. I don't know how I told her to do the 8th note, though. I don't think I even told her. I think I just let her go.
Yeah, 3 notes.
Yeah, but then it goes.
You want it to be.
Then G, D, A. Well, I always try to keep within that that Pete Townsend quote. 4 chords, good. 5 chords, now you're up against a committee. So we really rarely put a 5th chord into a song.
Okay, so if I said, all right, jump on, if I transported you on stage and say play Ride, you just go and know the words, got it all.
Yeah,
everyone's got their parts, everything's fine.
Yeah, all of our songs are
okay.
Incredibly simple for the reason being that I really didn't want to have sophisticated, immature but sophisticated musicians, because they really brought such bad habits. And I went to music college, and I saw it, and I saw other bands, and they were horrible. That was a really ugly time for music. So if you weren't doing a gothic band, goth was goth and shoegazer, but shoegazer didn't even exist here. And so, that was what we thought we were, is somewhere between goth and shoegazer. That's what we were influenced by, and it ended up being somewhere between Neil Young and shoegaze. But we definitely, in the beginning, we had a lot of goths in our audience.
Well, I'm going to make you play a song. I want to jump way to the other end of your career, not other end, but way into the future. Be All Right, which is off this second to last album, I believe. And I really like that one because it sounds to me like like a really classic Dandy Warhols song that could have existed in the mid '90s or in the early 2020s.
I remember thinking,
you don't even have to tell me the story, but
it's great to hear it. That at the beginning, Brand and Zia weren't doing any songwriting. And I knew as we developed as a band, they would start writing songs. And Brett is the one who basically did exactly what I had hoped for. And that was, as I branched farther out into other stuff, funky, envelope-y sounds, lots of negative space, wop, wop, whip, wop. and all that kind of stuff that I kind of got into. He was doing classic dandies, and this is a classic Brent DeBoer song from just maybe 5 years ago, doing, just the ultimate condensed timeline of our band. And so that's the way I started is C to G, and then it's D minor F C G, D minor F C G, and I think that's all it does. But it goes ding 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 D minor ding 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 F da da ding 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 C da ding ding da 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 ding 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 G da ding ding da da. I could see in your eye. But that kind of it's also kind of strokesy.
So the band has written.
Yeah.
It is a strokesy, actually. It is
the straight down stroke,
driving,
like a bass player from the LA punk era, Orange County punk era.
I won't make you play any more songs today, but I am still I'm just astounded that you can.
120.
How many songs
maybe?
do you think you guys have published? Like
maybe more, 140. I don't actually.
And you can recall you can recall them all right now and just know all the words to all of them and play them.
When I was a little kid, I was
crazy.
Very afraid of being a singer, and I went straight to being a drummer to hide from being a singer because I thought that it would be too many words to remember. Also, when I was 9, I heard The Sound of Silence, and I thought it was rock. I like rock. That's what I'll do. I'll be a rock guy, and I'll make rock music, and it'll be great. And then I heard The Sound of Silence in choir class in the 3rd grade, and the lady started, oh God, I wish I could remember her name. She was just lovely. And hello, darkness, my old friend. And she's playing on the piano.
Talking about the Simon and Garfunkel?
Okay. Because of vision softly. And then she would stop. And the hair is standing up on the back of my neck, on my arms. I couldn't believe how beautiful this was. It was killing me. And she kept stopping, and the kids wouldn't sing it right, and some were goofing off, and I was getting angry. And so I got home, and I talked to my parents about this, and I need to get this record. I cannot tolerate going through another day of this without hearing this whole song. So we got me the single, and I remember standing at the bus stop, freezing, shivering in the cold, and thinking to myself, I can't do that. Never mind this whole, I'm going to make a band and be a rock guy. I am definitely going to just be the drummer and let somebody else be the songwriting genius that can write The Sound of Silence. For a 9-year-old?
It's a pretty high bar to set between...
I know.
Anyone? I mean, Simon and Garfunkel?
Boy was I dumb.
Together? I mean,
so... Anyway, it's fine. You don't have to write. Turns out you don't have to write The Sound of Silence. You can just write Ride and We Used to Be Friends and, and just express you. And it's fine. But also, they don't make those magicians like that anymore, like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And, they're just fine little elven creatures. They're all like 5'1". They weigh about 70 pounds. And they are absolutely from a different time, place, and world. They're incredible. And when we played shows, we did a couple summers where we played shows with the Stones, and they were so wonderful. And to get back to wine for a moment, Keith Richards had 10-year-old Rioja on his rider, and every day, and a couple packs of Camel cigarettes. And he had shepherd's pie, my favorite thing, maybe in the world. That was his great-great-great-grandmother's recipe that had been passed down for generations and generations. He didn't eat solid food back then that I could tell, that anyone could tell. He didn't drink wine. He did
Just
not
shepherd's
drink
pie and
any. I
booze?
drank
Okay.
all of his Rioja. I smoked. Me and my friends smoked, and the band smoked all of his cigarettes, and and
Is it this Rioja?
and I ate
Yeah.
probably a quarter of his shepherd's pie every day, and I was the only one who ate it.
So what did he survive on? Rock
If
and
you
roll or
think
drugs?
orange soda pop, no label on the 2-liter bottle, and he would have a scientist back there with one of yesterday's empties, pouring half of this one in there, and then I think it was probably vodka, I guess, into each, filling the rest. So it's half vodka and half orange soda pop, and that's what he survived on for those tours, those 2 years. So rock and roll.
It's rock and roll.
Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen the meme with him, with his hands on his guitar, and he's got that Keith Richards smile, and it says, "We need to really think about what kind of a world we're going to leave for Keith Richards."
Fun fact: in Milwaukee, there's 2 streets that intersect. One of them is called Keefe Avenue, and one of them is called Richard Street. So there's a sign.
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards.
People take pictures there.
That's
Keith.
That's so cool.
Keith Richards. It's a
I'm moving there. I'm moving there right now.
Yeah, we'll get a picture there.
We'll swap.
Yeah, or I'm moving there. I don't know. We're gonna do it. Yeah. Well, you got a pool though, right?
I got rid of the hot tub.
Do you have a hot tub?
We bought this house. Got rid of the hot tub within a year. They're gross.
Well, all right. Oh, we'll have to see. I don't know, but you got the wine cellar, so that's something. You'll never have to be drinking.
You don't have to drink $10 wine anymore, little boy.
Once this pod starts,
so that Andy doesn't have to drink $10.49 plonk.
Please support my new wine habit.
Courtesy
brought to you by
of
Courtney Taylor-Taylor.
Oh, I love good wine, and this is good wine. I mean, this isn't. This is not a fancy thing, but nobody would say boo to this at all. This is. Let me show you the label again. Let's look at the label again. And
is it just my lighting?
You know what this tells me?
Yeah, some sort of
or Belgian
or French or Italian. So
yeah, the Belgians, the wonderful Belgians, are so beautiful. In World War One, the Germans would have swept right into France, and there would be no France. It would be just part of Germany if it wasn't for the Belgians. And they were told by the Germans, if you just let us sweep through Belgium, we won't kill you. And they went, gross. You're gross. We're going to die to defend the world against you, and particularly France, whom we love. And they did. They did. If you watch the Guns of August, it's a quick story of how it happened, why it happened, and obviously they just got literally mired in killing, and it was a disgusting story. So let's move back to this guy, this soldier. Hopefully he survived whatever war he was in, and but the quality of this kind of entry level wine, Nebbiolo, from this producer makes me believe that their Barbaresco or their Barolo, whichever village they're closer to, is going to be spectacular. So if we start, and we will have to start poking our little turtle heads up out of the $20 to $35 wines pretty soon. We will poke our little heads up, and we will start trying other things. I definitely want to come back to Rinaldo Ratti. I think.
Ronaldo Ratti, the guy with the little. That's probably not him. How you doing? You go to the drinks and Nebbiolo.
I think we can.
I'd like to figure out this guy's deal.
That was exactly Borat, really, but that's okay. Naughty.
Yes, guys, comes from the. So he's got both a little bayonet and a gun. So
that does not look like a World War I uniform.
But I don't think so.
Things had not moved
No, that would have
Things
been
have
more.
not moved
Well,
forward
unless
much
you
in 100
lose,
years
yeah.
between 1820 and 1917 or whatever.
And Deep Dive Wine Acoustics is available now. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Like and subscribe, and maybe you can win
So I'm key.
Courtney's broken wine som key.
20 years
an
from now,
autograph
20 years from
cork
now,
from
it's going to
Courtney
be
and
in the
myself.
Met. MoMA.
It's going to be like
MoMA. LACMA.
Yeah, it will be MoMA. You'll wait and see. I like it.
I am not moved by it.
I'm just not moved by
What
this
it
wine.
what it wants is amazing food. It wants to just stay out of the way and be helpful.
That's a very good way of putting it.
And a really good one.
It's a backup singer.
A completely reliable one. Do not punch this backup singer. No matter how drunk you get, don't get angry, don't get mad. This backup singer.
This is the Joel Guion
yes.
of
absolutely
of wine?
Brilliant in its straightforwardness. It's not confused. It's not getting involved in any emotional outbursts. You know, I remember what the one time I watched that movie. It's Joel. I'm sending him a case right now.
If you put some mutton chops on him and replace that,
or just put a big
tambourine
inverted triangle on the top so it looks like a
bottle of
giant
champagne
martini glass. When we first good for you. When we first started playing with the Jonestown Massacre at the Purple Onion and stuff, those old psych rock places, psychedelic places in San Francisco. Joel only sat on stage and drank martinis. He did not play tambourine. He did not say woo. He just sat there and looked cool and drank martinis and made that face. It was so amazing. But of course, he's a brilliant dude. He's actually, kind of all our friends. I don't know if you ever heard his. Did he make 2 records or one record?
Apple Cracker.
He is a very original
Apple Cracker. He's got the name of his band.
He has a very original take on singing. It's almost like it's like rather than being a psych rock guy, he went Joey Ramone or something, and just ended up in his own world of vocal style. He's a really cool singer too. I'm really impressed with him. Joel is the tambourine player and martini drinker on stage for the Brian Jonestown Massacre, and he is absolutely the salvation of the movie Dig. And he's great. He writes books now. He's a novelist.
Yeah, he just came out with a book called
Cool.
The Jingle Jangle Jungle. The tambourine being in the Brian
That'll
Jonestown
be
Massacre.
interesting
I haven't read it yet. I don't know if I could watch or read an entire book.
If I wasn't so blind,
AGM,
I would.
But maybe
I'll have to wait till it comes out on audiobooks. Next time I see him, I'll ask him to please
audiobook
do it himself. God, yeah. I mean,
to read it out loud.
That'd
be funnier if he did. Yeah.
What a great. Maybe
it exists on
style
Kindle.
of speaking.
We'll find out.
Yes, too.
But he's the only guy who's doing
the
publicity for this Dig remastered. Well, no, he's going to the movie screen. He was at the Milwaukee Film Festival. He's at Sundance or wherever.
Oh yeah,
but
no one cares about that.
Dig 20.
It's a miserably depressing movie on every level. It's not real. The only redeeming quality is that Joel is in it, and he's fucking funny. He is completely detached from the emotional stress of the situation. The whole thing. I don't want to go into it. I love that guy. Yeah.
I don't think we should go into it because we're always going to wind up talking about that. I think Joel's a good guy, and I think he looks an awful lot
like Rinaldo Ratti
with mutton chops.
Rinaldo Ratti.
Joel Renato Ratti.
Joel Gianni.
Sounding like
can we call him?
I was Borat once for Halloween before the movie came out. Joel Gianni.
God, you are so Borat.
You want some
I have way too many Italian friends to get caught in the Boratness of the moment. But I can do Fat Jesus.
Sorry.
Don't say grazie. Say grazie. Go large. Grazie.
Oh, by the way, I just want to make a little station note here. There's so much stuff that we want to show and play on this podcast, but the overlords of YouTube prevent us from doing a lot of that. So in prior episodes, we talked about the video with La Chapelle for Junkie. Like, you just can't show this stuff because then you immediately get spanked down by.
Yeah, people should work
YouTube
hard
overlords.
And not get paid. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, so on some future episode, I do want to talk about the urban development. I mean, you guys own half a block or you own half a block in downtown Portland. You do things other than
I have a wine bar.
Make music.
Yeah, I bought some good. I bought a good piece of property.
And a wine bar.
And I have a wine bar, and I paid it all off when I had the money. And people told me, "Oh no, make payments, and invest your money elsewhere." And I just thought, I'm not going to get involved in that. And I don't get involved in shit I don't understand either. So I put a wine bar in there almost a decade ago, and that pays the taxes and, whatever else. Okay.
We'll do a podcast from there in December. That'd be a perfect place to do it. All right. This
long and boring.
Kind of long. You want to give this a 90? Not boring, just we'll juice it up with some music and B-roll. This guy, I'm animating this guy.
A killing machine.
Turning him into Joel.
You don't think that's Ronaldo?
Actually, I do not believe this is Renato Ratti. No, because Renato opened it in 1965. Unless this guy's like cosplaying some sort of
the Peninsular War. I think this is a humble wine that is perfect and stays out of the way, and its job is a support troops for the great food of Piedmont.
It's a Joel.
Mm-hmm. The
Joel
French Italian blend
of wine.
And that might be his last name, and that might be his. I always thought Guillaume sounded cooler,
is it Gian or
and
is
I
it
think
Guillaume?
he would appreciate that. But I've never talked to him about it, frankly.
I always thought it was Guillaume. Okay, good. Just checking. It's a weird conversation. After all these years, you can't be like,
if his first name starts with a J, wouldn't he want his last name to? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't start with a J as well, does it? It's not Goal Guillaume. Now, is it?
Episode 4, Deep Dive, Wine Acoustics. Future episode, I want to sit and talk about Idiocracy with you.
Next time we run into a really seriously depressing wine, and we will run into depressing ass wines, and we're gonna sidetrack off onto Idiocracy.